Let's say you're launching your coaching program. You send out some emails. People go to the sales page and you're waiting with really big anticipation for the moment the sales come in, but they just don't come. And why is that? Well, chances are your sales message is probably missing something from this image. How you open a sales letter and the first thing you mention at the top of the sales page is how you ultimately connect, persuade, and ultimately sell your coaching program to people who kind of have an interest in what you've got to sell. And in today's video, I'm actually going to walk through how do you structure the sales message at the start. So when people who have no idea what your product does, you can actually guide them through to the sale without it being pushy or slimy or anything like that. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I spoke about how being more direct with offers works super well for people who know they've got a product, they know about the problem, and they're pretty aware that you've got a solution too. But how on earth do you sell something when people don't really know they've got a problem, they don't know you've got the solution? What do you actually do in that situation? How do you grab people's interest so you can sell them that product? That's what I'm going to show you in today's video. I'm going to show you that first critical part of the sales message, the lead. How do you actually get someone interested so that you can connect, persuade, and ultimately convert the right prospects into your coaching program? It all comes down to 3 parts at the start of your lead, and I'm going to break down a 50K lead that's worked super well, and maybe you can take some lessons along the way too. So if you want to blow up your coaching program the next time you launch, I'd stick around to the end of this video. Now, if you're new to this channel, you want an introduction, hey, my name is Jules, and I'm a freelance copywriter and list manager. I like to call it, I'm a list master. So I really like to help my clients maximize the profit potential of every lead they get. And on this channel, I talk about how to get more customers, how to make more per customer, and keep them coming back with the power of the pen. Now, what is normally super effective with the power of the pen? You would think it's stories. Now, stories are super helpful. Actually, I think stories are one of the most best ways to sell. You can make the story super relatable and put in a lot of pain points that they're sharing right now inside of your customer's story. Not only that, there's a lot of science about something called narrative transportation. Like, can you remember the last time that you heard a story and you sort of imagine yourself going through the motions of that person, except it was your narrative? That's why it's called narrative transportation. And the closer you get people into that, the more persuasive your message is going to be. Now, here's the part I want to burst your bubble with. Stories are a great way to sell, but it's just one way you can open up a sales message. Now, remember that image I was telling you about before? I gave you a little bit of a tease. Here's the unblurred image, and it might be a little bit overwhelming, a little bit confusing. There's a lot on this page, but have a look at the leads between direct and indirect. We're going to indirect people who are super skeptical, they've got no idea who you are, they've never heard of your product, they've never heard of your solution. That is when you want to try and open up with the story. But say they've already known you for a little bit. Now, you've got some rapport in your email list. They kind of like you. Maybe they haven't bought from you before, but they've seen enough content. Is a story the best way to go? Well, we don't actually know this for sure, so you're gonna have to test that. What I like to do with my clients is go straight down the middle, and you're gonna see a problem solution lead. So take a look at the if-then opener. I love to use the problem solution lead and the if-then opener because generally speaking, everyone on your list has somewhat of a relationship with you and they know the problem, they just don't really know the solution, they don't know you have it. And that's why if you have a brand new product, I would definitely start with this opener with your sales message. The issue with the if-then opener is that it's absolutely done to death. If you go through YouTube ad funnels, it always goes like, if you're someone who's blank and you're experiencing frustration in blank, then you absolutely need to see blank because the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you blank that has benefit blank, benefit blank, benefit blank. Can you see how it's getting too formulaic, it's getting too watered down. We kind of need to make it our own secret sauce now. Now, to keep your attention, instead of going line by line, I just wanted to give you some high level principles on how you'd actually open up this sales message at the start. So this has come from a tried and tested launch where we came up with a new product, it had a few testimonials, launched to a list who didn't really know how to solve this problem, probably have never heard of this solution before, and we're ready to make some cool sales on the back end of this as well. The part you're probably wondering about though is, how do you introduce your sales message and get people hooked when they don't really know about your product or service? Maybe they don't even know that there's something around to fix that specific problem. So let me introduce you to my empathy opener for any sales message where they know you, they like you, but they just don't really know if you've got something to help fix that problem that it's like lurking in the background. So here's what we need. We need to talk about 3 things they hate. We need to qualify who should be listening to this sales message. We need to tell them that they're in the right place. And on top of that, we need to let them know that we understand what their day is like. What are the daily frustrations and what's the crap they have to put up with every single day. Now, the opener, instead of if you're blank who wants blank and you're experiencing blank, here's an opener that you might want to experiment with. How would you like to know how to, and then you sort of talk about the 3 things they hate. How would you like to stop getting price shopped from prospects? How to stop dead-end discovery calls? How to stop getting ghosted? Maybe if you're in the health and wellness space, how do you stop going through the whole day being so good? Maybe you've tracked your macros and your calories, but then someone bakes a cake and you just have no resistance and you just dive right in. So now I'm just generalizing here, but 3 things they hate most. How would you like to learn how to stop 3 things they hate most? The next part is, well, if you're someone who, now we take the line from the other part. If you're an agency owner who's making more than $20,000, if you're somebody who's been trying to put on muscle for blank, if you're somebody who sees themselves as a knowledgeable individual, you read lots of books, but remembering more than actually 4 pages of content of that book seems an absolute struggle. I think you understand the picture I'm going with this. The qualifier not only says, like, I want to work with these people, but it further adds credibility to your pitch saying, this is exactly for you. And then of course, by saying exactly for you, say, well, if that is you, then you're in the right place. I love saying that line. Now to make this empathy opener really effective, we now need to transition into empathy. What's their day like? What pisses them off most? What frustrates them the most? This is your opportunity to get in there, relate with their day, be like, hey, it's okay. Like, I understand what is going on, without sort of finger pointing and saying that they're an idiot, that it's their fault. So you probably agree it's super persuasive when someone tells you exactly how you feel and how you should act, and you should just stop doing that thing because you should do this other thing instead. Obviously, I'm joking. It's probably the least persuasive way you can get someone to do something. Best way is to talk about someone kind of vague, but still relate with what they're going through. And I like to use a little line like this. If you're like most blank, chances are your days are ... and you start talking about their day. Then it could be like you've got endless back-to-back Zoom meetings. You barely have endless back-to-back Zoom meetings. You barely have a chance to eat lunch at your table, or in this case, your desk. Maybe you're working tirelessly to pay the bills, but when you actually go to clock off, you realize it's 10:30 at night and you haven't actually seen your family. Or maybe, and then you talk about something else. Key thing in this part though, is to use maybe. Now, the reason why we use maybe is because whenever we apply like a label to someone, or we directly say, you're feeling this way, their guard is going to be way up. But when we say, maybe you're like this, or maybe you're experiencing this, and you talk about the problem in a more vague way, their defensiveness and their guard is going to go down. So something to test. Now, if you're looking for more examples of how to actually do this, make sure you check out my other video where it talks about direct leads. I wanted to keep this video a bit more high level, more to the point, more to the principles. So if you're having trouble thinking of what to write in that first part, I've given you some ideas. And if you're finding value with this video so far, give this video the thumbs up. And if you have any suggestions for future video content on specifically launching, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to look into it, explore it, and we can make some more content on that. But that's it for today's video. If you want to go check out the rest of the playlist on launching, you go check out this video over here. And in my future videos, I'm going to talk about the pre-launch. I'm going to talk about what goes in those launch emails so you can get past objections, so you can sell more of your coaching program. That's it for me. My name is Jules Dan. Hope you enjoyed the video today, and I'll see you for the next one.